Hello, this is Talamir and welcome to another redstone tutorial. In this video, we are looking at these flying machines that are sea eaters. Now, I've been playing around with these a lot in the previous Better Minecraft video. We had used something like this to eat all the water out of a guardian monument, a very sizable one, and it worked very well. Now, the problem with it was that it was a bit fiddly to work with, and it wasn't it had some issues initially. I think it partly was because it was on Bedrock Edition, but also just the ease of use. Some of the resources it was pretty light on, but it wasn't easy to make. So I designed another version. It is this version right here, and this is a tileable version of a slime block flying machine. And with this particular version, it's capable of just keeping on going. And I saw this from another YouTube video a while back. It's a very simple design where you just have this arm here coming down and pushing forward, just a piston and an observer. As you can see here, they're not sticky or anything, and you need to give it a bit of a gap between. So let me show you. I mean, like, you can look at it right here. It's pretty straightforward, but if you want the tutorial, here it is. To begin with, you're going to have to put down your leaf blocks is what I recommend. I'm just using these because they're very, very bright and easy to see. Leaf blocks are just an unmovable block. If the machine, if the slime block machine goes through it, it just breaks the leaves, but it cannot take them along with it. So you want to make these as low as you want them to be for your machine. So however low you're going is how much water you're planning to remove. If this block is not put in place, water will just fill right back in. So I'm going to stretch this out like that, and I'm going to build up pretending that's the bottom of the sea, and that's the other pillar. So I'm just leaving that extra block at the top just for a visual reference. Next from there, you're just going to go and put down a observer, and you're going to put a sticky piston on top of that, and then you're going to put a couple of blocks, slime blocks specifically, and then you're going to do the exact reverse of that. So you're going to put a observer, another slime block, and another couple of a sticky piston, excuse me. And you can just repeat this all the way along. That is exactly what you need for this. Like, I'll just put something right here, go out a couple of blocks. That just stop it from doing what I don't want it to do. If you put a block right here, it'll start moving. And if you want it to go back, you just put a block right here so I can get this going again. I'll go on back, and you'll notice that it's not sticking to these. Now, I designed a few different versions, and this is the only one that I discovered that didn't jam up when it's directly beside another one, so that means that it is very tileable. So you can just go all the way along like this, just building them. Get your observers down, and then your sticky pistons, and then you're reversing between honey blocks and slime blocks. 2 honey blocks, 2 slime blocks, 2 honey blocks, and that's already pretty much halfway done. Now let's put these down here. And then after those observers are down, your sticky pistons, and then your slime blocks. And you can go back and forth if you want. I'm gonna get these in first, just to speed things up. I feel that it speeds things up. I'm not sure if it does or not. Now, I will admit that I made a bit of a mistake here. I needed to put in my triggering mechanism and the unmovable blocks first before building the rest of this, but it's pretty easy to solve. If you did what I did by mistake, all you gotta do is put in your immovable blocks on top of the slime and honey blocks like this. Then do the exact same thing on the other side. And then you put in your block that you are going to be using that can change states. In this occasion, I am using a note block, but you could also use a dropper, a dispenser, even a piston would work well. The piston looks quite fancy, actually, in its own odd way. Now we're going to go and put in our immovable blocks. We can remove these immovable blocks now, and then put your redstone dust on top of those immovable blocks. Probably could also put it on top of the note blocks themselves, but it doesn't really matter. There we go. That bit is done and dusted. You'll notice that nothing should happen right now since that side is all blocked. Now we're going to go and put our endpoint. If you weren't in a super deep flat world like I am, you could just go down to the bottom of the ocean, find the place where you want it to stop, or in the monument you're trying to drain, build up from the bottom, and you should be good to go. And just build it up like this until you get to the spot where you are done. One more. Now with this particular design, I could and should have actually built this 2 blocks down so that's directly in the water and it's part of the solution of eating up the water. Let's build the second part of this. And it's pretty straightforward. You just got to keep in mind that what you are doing is you're building on top of this. So this piston right here, it is pushing not just these 2 honey blocks, but it is also pushing these 2 blocks as well. That means you're already at a push limit of 4, which you need to get to a push limit of 12. So you need to account not just for these, but also the piston as well as the observer down below that we are going to be pushing. So let's get this done. So that is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks going down, but that's okay. 10 so far. Then you put that right there, and that is 11. And then you put the sticky, not a sticky piston, regular piston. This is important. And then you're going to be putting your blocks not directly on the face of this one, but out exactly 1. And then you can put this down as far as you want to the push limit. So 2, 3, 4, etc. And then you just go back and forth repeating it from slime block to honey block. Now for the observers. So as you can see, it is extremely tileable. And that's that next layer done. Now the really interesting thing about this is that you can actually keep going. If you want to go and put another couple blocks at the bottom, all you need to do is just delete those 2 bottom blocks, and then you can put a observer and then another regular piston, and then you can continue this pattern. You can put slime block out like that and continue on another 12 blocks or 10 blocks if you want to go down another layer and another layer and another layer. I'm going to leave this one just as is, just for the sake of demonstration, and the other ones as is, and then let's get this thing rolling. You can see down here, that bottom one that's working all the way up. Beautiful. Question is, why did this not work? What went wrong? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Right here. That's where you need to put your unmovable blocks, not the place that I put them. So they should have gone right alongside the honey blocks or the slime blocks instead. That's why it didn't work. That is very, very disappointing. But let's fix that issue by trying this again and making it daytime. The same thing with here. You need to start it off over here for it to actually eat up that water. All right, now that I fixed up my own mistakes, let's try that again. Oh, there's the good stuff. Beautiful. Now that we got this particular method out of the way, let's try the more, I'd say it's not just the cheaper option, it has a little bit more flexibility, this particular option right here. And the flexibility has mostly to do with the fact that as this goes along the ground, it's not so useful on the top, but as you go deeper and deeper and you start hitting those ridges in the ground, it will leave behind chunks as you go, and it'll eat up as much as it can as you go. This one will do it too. It just doesn't, from my experience, do it nearly as well. So let's show how that's done. I'm going to use this corner right here as a demonstration, and this is actually the side where the slime blocks are going to be. So this is actually perfect. To begin with, you're just going to put down some blocks like this, and then you're going to go and put down your observers. You're going to be putting down an observer that's going to go right here, pointing into this block. Get that deleted. Put this sticky piston going into there. Then we can delete this one. And then after that, you're going to put another block right here. This is another sticky piston. And then a slime block directly after that. Then you're going to be putting a regular piston right there. And then let's just build out a bit. Right there is where you're going to put an observer pointing in this way. Delete that. Delete that. I broke something. Let's put that back in its proper spot. There we go. Like nothing was wrong ever. So far, so good. And now you're going to go and put a sticky piston right there. And then a slime block. And then put a slime block down there just temporarily. And then an observer, which is going to go right here. Now, there is one more slime block right there, and then you're going to go out another slime block and just put a temporary slime block right here, which is where you're going to use a observer and then a sticky piston on top of that. Just like that, then you can delete that one. I'm using those as temporary blocks because the slime blocks, they break so easily. It's just wonderful. Now you're going to put 3 slime blocks out here and then 2 forward. That last one is just a temporary block. Now you're going to do it again. Slime, 2 blocks forward, then once again your honey, then your slime, till you get to the end. You don't need to put a hook on the end. Those are just simply there to pull along your observer and your piston. So let's get those observers in. Then your pistons, you can delete that block while you go. And there you go. That's the first bit of the mechanical bits. Now let's put in the solid blocks on top of this. This can be any block that you want. Now I'm not going to put these all the way along until I am done the next layer. Next, you want to put one more slime block down here. And then you're going to put 3 honey blocks going down and then 1 honey block side right there. Then you're going to put one more slime block right here. And I'm going to put down a couple of temporary slime blocks. You're going to have 1 observer pointing right here. And then you're going to put a sticky piston on top of that. Break that temporary and also that temporary block. And now you're going to go and put out your slime blocks and your honey blocks here. Once again, 3 and then 2, 3 and then 2, 3 and then 2, just like this. And then once again, you're going to put your observers and your sticky pistons in as well. For here, you can put down 2 honey blocks right there. So you got a place to go and put your sticky pistons. This one's a permanent one. You need this there. This one can be deleted. And then your observers and sticky pistons all along here. And you can really go as long as you want with this. It can stretch as far as you want to build it, and it'll just continue working. Let's delete these blocks, and then you can put your blocks, solid blocks in this area here. Another layer done. Let's do one more just to send it home. I'm going to put a block here, and then it's going to be 3 slime blocks, and then 1 out. I'm going to put 2 temporary blocks, just like before. You're going to put another observer here. And this is basically what you can just keep on doing all the way down. Just keep on going down with this exact same pattern. 3 honey blocks, 3 slime blocks, and with that little one out to the side over and over and over again. Let's put in the 3 and 2s. And then our observers, including right here. Delete that temporary block, observers. Then delete those temporary blocks out. Once again, you're putting in your solid blocks. I recommend putting these in once you're done each layer because they can get in the way. And then you can just put some blocks right down here. Consider this the very bottom. If there's anything that is in the way of one of these units, it will prevent that unit from moving on. And in fact, I'm going to demonstrate what that's going to look like if there is one that gets in the way of your intended end location. So let's look at this one right here. So let's build out, and right there. Because there is an unmovable object right here, assume it's a whole pile of gravel or something like that, it should stop this module and this module as well. I'm going to use World Edit just to make a copy of this in case something breaks on me and I need to repeat it. But from there, all you need to do is simply grab a lever or a button or something like that, and you're just going to put it on the front here. It's going to make those go back, and then you're going to flip it down, and it'll get it started. Now this is just going to keep going until it hits something. So I'm going to put a block on the front of that once I want it to stop. There you have it, the whole thing stops. So you want to choose where you want this to stop. You can either just let it keep going and you just put a unmovable block on the face right here, or you can just pre-choose your location. But as you can see, it went pretty darn far, and it took out 2 modules, just as I said. I forgot that it actually takes out a bit more than that. But you can see it went as far as it could, and then it hit some, let's put quotes around it, gravel, and the rest continued ongoing. So if you're working on a Guardian monument, something like that, I do recommend you use the sponge to sponge everything up. Sponge up the water along here between the glass and your ocean eater. before you move on to your next spot. That's really all there is to it. It's a pretty darn cool machine. I really enjoyed working away at these things when I was doing the Better Minecraft monument draining with Zack Attack Original. So if you want to see what happened with that episode, it's actually I'll put it on the end credits. But thank you guys all for watching another Redstone video. If you like the video, please do leave a like, and if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.